We've been helping families in Michigan make better insurance decisions since 1917.
We don't
Eric,
just say it, it's the truth.
excuse me, we do it. We don't just say it. Thank you.
We go.
One thing that we do want to speak to today, Derek, electric vehicles, right? No big news, been around for a while now. Everyone knows what an EV is. But one thing that's interesting is that uh, electric vehicles are much more frequently totaled in an insurance claim than a non electric vehicle or an internal combustion engine vehicle, right? Why is that, right? There's a lot of, I think, confusion over what the impact is on insurance for an electric vehicle. What are a couple of the reasons why they're more frequently totaled than a non electric vehicle?
Yeah, great question. And not to scare electric vehicle owners, insurance for those types of vehicles is much more reasonable than it was 5, 10, 15
Totally,
years or so ago.
for sure.
There are more shops that service them. The parts are more readily available. And I think insurance companies in general just have more comfort with them. But that being said, in general, they are still a little bit more expensive to insure than their counterpart. And the reason for that is roughly 10% of claims involving an electric vehicle result in a total loss. It's roughly 5% for internal combustion vehicles. So what's the difference between those two? Well, everybody knows it's the battery, right? So that's really the big reason that more of them are totaled, and therefore the insurance costs are generally a little bit higher.
But what does the battery have to do with it? Where does that come into play? So what? There's
Well,
a battery in my Tesla or in my Rivian. Who cares?
yeah, well, you have to remember there's not just a small battery the size of your cell phone right in the middle of the vehicle. It's a very large battery, and it runs, in a lot of cases, almost the length of the vehicle. And so when somebody runs over a curb or has some road debris or even just hits a pothole, if that battery gets a big impact, it might be cracked, it might be no longer efficient, it might no longer charge. And what's going to happen in those cases is that vehicle is in all likelihood going to be totaled because
Got it.
I don't think that it's very easy to just swap that battery out with a new one like you would with your smoke detector. So the battery is really the reason that uh, electric vehicles are totaled more frequently than their internal combustion counterparts. And I think we had one just recently where, as you mentioned, road debris, some stones got kicked up in a construction area and did enough damage to the undercarriage, which in an internal combustion vehicle might mean you had some chips in the exhaust system, or maybe one of the suspension components got a little bit out of whack. With that electric vehicle, it was totaled because there was enough impact to the battery that it lost its effectiveness.
Yeah, yeah. We've got a 15 or $20,000 battery sitting in the middle of that vehicle, right? You run over something, if there's damage, that thing is toast, which of course is going to likely total that vehicle if it's only worth 20 or 25 or 30 grand, right? So, great. That's great intel, Derek. And if you at home have questions about your electric vehicle or your internal combustion vehicle, we at Boer Insurance Group run into these things all the time. We're happy to give you input, give you suggestions, give your insurance plan a scrub, and see if there's anything